So before we get started, nobody needs this guy doesn't need an introduction. Everybody knows the great Johnnie Jackson. And thank you very much for coming on today. And everybody knows Orange, so it doesn't matter. So Orange, guess who mosey on over near me toward the gym working out near me today again?
Oh, that girl?
Yeah, it's skinny girl, I'm telling you.
What happened?
And the closest she gets, the skinniest.
Johnny, you missed this whole thing we had 2 weeks ago.
Kind of sound like I'm glad I did.
You got out at a good time, right?
Yeah,
John seems to be under the impression that skinny girls or white guys are attracted to skinny girls, or skinny girls attracted to white guys, or some shit like that.
It's the stereotype.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So John backs me up. Okay. So here's the thing.
I've never heard that. Never in my life.
Really?
Yeah. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. So
it's common.
Yeah. So the gym I go to is a really good gym. It's primarily Hispanic though. The neighborhood that it's in used to be Italian in New Jersey, and now it's mixed, but it's mostly Hispanic because it's in Belleville, New Jersey. Oh, you're from Jersey. It's in the Belleville, New Jersey, right? It's Signature. Clarita used to.
I've been there.
Oh, okay, yeah. So when I go there, there's a Spanish girl. She's really, really, really skinny, right? She's an attractive girl. Don't get me wrong. She's pretty, right? But super skinny. And she always winds up working out near me, or kind of gives me eye contact and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? I bet you this girl's like, oh, he's one of the only few white guys in here. He probably likes skinny girls, right? And she's probably throwing the energy out at me, except I'm trying to be good because I'm a married man. It's difficult, when it falls in your lap, but you still got to be like, nah, man, can't.
Right. Now that's the story you're giving us.
Right.
Yeah.
I like to hear her story, and then the truth is somewhere in between.
Yeah. The real story is he fucking stalks her. Chases this poor girl around a gym. So she just goes wherever there's a lot of people, so she feels safe, in the public eye.
It's funny.
Like, dude, I got all, it's the sex offender thing. There's a lot of red dots pop up when you look up my name. What were you gonna ask? Were you gonna ask if she spoke to me?
Have you actually spoken to her yet?
Yeah. The thing is, though, she only speaks Spanish. Oh. So I called my friend over that was Spanish.
Google Translate.
That's right. There you go.
I called my friend over.
I got all the workers in my house. I do this all day, dude.
Really?
Dude, look at this shit in the background. It's still not done.
Oh, yeah.
So I called my friend over. I asked him to translate for me. And he goes, okay, yeah, no problem. I said, tell her that I would, consider, hanging out with her, but I don't speak Spanish. So he translates. And then I said, but tell her that I bought Rosetta Stone, and but she's got to be patient because this is my third time trying.
What's going on here?
And I said, but if she's not interested in 90 days, she's got to tell me so I can get my money back.
Right. A 30-day guarantee.
Jesus, man. Oh my God. I was winding down to go to sleep too after this big wide awake.
Yo, it's hot as hell.
Are you in Texas? You in Jersey?
Me?
Yeah.
Texas. I'm home, yeah.
Back home?
Yeah, it's like 101 or something like that. Pretty close.
That's rough.
Yo, John, on a more serious note, how come you didn't decide to do the Masters Olympia? You could have really probably did good if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, it just wasn't in the cards for me this year.
No?
If they may continue to do it. So who knows? I never counted all the way out.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't a good year for it. I talked about it earlier. It sounded great. I was motivated, but it just got so much stuff going on with family, a couple of deaths in the family on my side and my wife's side.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just been, kind of a busy, crazy, upsetting year,
Yeah. I hear you. Sorry to hear that, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, Phil's got to be the favorite now after he just beat Hassan at the Orlando Pro. I mean, the guy looked great. Was he 48 years old?
Is he?
Yeah. I was surprised. Looking at the pictures, I don't know. I think he deserved to win, more or less. I don't know.
I don't know.
It was kind of, it's, I just seen a couple poses Hassan was in that it looked kind of flat or bad,
Yeah.
But overall, I thought his physique and his, his appearance was better. I thought he would win the show, with his size and
he had an
with the
overall better
balance and
package.
stuff like this. His conditioning or something was a little bit off. His back poses looked a little smooth in some areas. Where in the front and the side they were really good shots. So I still thought honestly, I thought he would win the show.
Yeah.
Phil, I thought he was peeled, of course. We all know this, but just lagging some size, in some places. Wasn't complete for me.
Well, I had Phil on Monday night. We did an interview after he won, and I actually did a dark horse when I did the review. I had him as my dark horse to win, so I look like Nostradamus, right? But the thing is, though, I honestly think that the biggest knock on Hassan is just his waist, and I think they're really rewarding guys that don't have that bloated gut anymore,
Yeah, but did he really have that bad of a bloated gut?
Yeah, I didn't think it was that
wide waist.
Yeah, and
I think the wide waist thing, but he didn't have a bloated gut.
Yeah,
and they associated one with the other.
He controlled it a little better here than he did in Toronto, but I just think he was just a little bit off in Toronto. And according to Phil, the judges had told him at pre-judging that they didn't know who they were going to go with.
Right.
And he came back at night, and according to what we spoke about, he said that he was bigger and harder at night, and they gave him the win because he improved from pre-judging to.
I get that. Yeah, I
to finals. Hassan is like, he has got more muscle, but he's not very wide, so he doesn't have that great V taper, and if he doesn't come in like spot on peeled, that waist throws him off a little bit, and I think they're really rewarding that.
Now, I got a question. You think that's going to affect Hadi Chutman at the
Hadi's got the same issue.
Because it's the same for him, with his weight as well.
Listen, after seeing Derek and Samson posing together in that video a couple of weeks ago, I was like, Hadi's gonna have his hands full. But Hadi's gonna have his hands full with Derek, because I couldn't believe, because you got to remember, Derek was a 212 bodybuilder.
But he sucked himself down. If you saw him as a 212er, you thought he's killing himself. Like, dude, this is not healthy for you right now. Like, there's no way you can tell me, you can smile all you want, but you're hurting,
Oh, yeah.
So I think he was just holding himself back because he really wanted that 212 title really bad. But he was a, super heavyweight the whole time.
Yeah, 100%. And I before I saw that video, I was like, I think Hadi could pull off another win, like, and have B2 time. But when I saw Derek in that video and looking as massive as he did next to Samson, because Samson's a monster. He's a huge human. He's 6 foot tall and 320, 330. And Derek from the front looked just as big, and from the back was bigger. And I was like,
and well, Derek, you didn't see the size discrepancy.
Right.
Derek was so big.
Yeah.
You didn't see the, the height discrepancy.
And we've never seen Derek off yet. Every time he shows up on stage, he's peeled. Yeah. So there's no reason not to think he was. So after that, I was like, yeah, this kid's probably gonna win this year.
But with that, also, it make you think, is he going to be able to get in the impressive shape that he needs to win the Olympia, staying in shape like he does consistently? Like, is his body going to respond when he needed to respond to get that, grainy, hard, Mr. Olympia, Heidi, treatment, conditioning, because he's going to have to beat him. Heidi is already Mr. Olympia, and he's going to have to take the title from him. So I agree with the density and his size, but he's got to come with that conditioning also.
Yeah, he still has that young muscle. You're right. I agree. But with Hani, what's his last name? Ramrod.
Okay.
when Hani in his corner, we had a discussion with there was me, Arns, and Fred Smalls was on with us, and he brought up a really good point, saying that Hani's probably the most consistent coach. All his guys come in like spot on.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So having him in his corner,
he's coaching both of those guys. So what's the battle?
That's right. Yeah.
So he's with Derek, but he's with Heidi also. And I would say Heidi's got a step in front of Derek with the conditioning. Older, more mature muscle. So you can get that nice, really nice grainy look. Where Derek, like you said, all that is new.
Right.
He had that in him, but it's all new because he never let it explode until now. So can he get it hard like he needed to compete with Heidi? That's going to be interesting to see.
Have either one of you guys been in that scenario where you have the same coach as the guy that you are trying to beat?
Yeah.
Really?
Milos Atlantic City Pro when I won in 2007. I was working with Milos
at
that time. And oh my God, I can't think of his name right now. Oh man, I think I don't know what he was like. I don't know what he was. He was like maybe a Saudi Arabian or Afghanistan. Got a scar right here on his face.
Holy shit!
God, I can't remember his name. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. But we were both working with Milos at the time, and
where did he place, Johnny?
God, I don't even know where he placed. I know I won. That's all.
But how was that?
He placed in the top 5. I know he placed in the top 5, possibly a third. I think. I'm not sure. I'm totally not sure. But I know that's when me and Milos had a little bit of back and forth because I was in my room waiting for Milos to come up to let me know what to eat, what was next, and stuff like that. And I found out he's in the gym at Oceanside Gym. And I guess they didn't know there was one of the gyms that I worked out in growing up, So I knew the owners and all that. So he was at Oceanside Gym training this guy, like, Milos with his, drinks and all that kind of stuff. And,
right.
Getting you all ready and all that stuff. So he was doing that with him while I'm sitting in the room like, hey man, where are you? Like, what, I need to, I'm the one that paid for him to be there.
On
top of it. So that's what was the riff, was like, dude, I paid for you to be here and you're in the gym pumping this guy up who's competing.
Yeah. What about backstage? I mean, that's got to be rough. Is he putting protein on both of you backstage, or
No, he never protein. I did with the,
what I mean, like
whatever. Yeah. But so I don't know. It was just back and forth. I don't remember. It was in 2007, so I slept a little bit since then.
Yeah, right.
Normally, I'm not focused on anything but what I have to do, my mission. You know what I mean? But like I said, of course, it was disturbing to me to find out that was going on in the midst of trying to win this show.
Because think about that, like times that by 1,000, because that's what Derek and Hadi go through, right? Because I mean, the politically correct thing to say is, oh, it's all sportsmanship and it's all love. But the truth of the matter is, when you get to that spot, when you're in the top 5,
now when you're coming across that finish line, dude.
Yeah, right. You're looking to fucking tear somebody's head off.
Where the fuck is my guy?
Hey, right.
I got shit to do.
Right.
That's all you're thinking about. The other guy can wait.
Yeah.
Sure.
Take care of my shit.
Yeah, I don't care about nothing else.
Right.
Yeah, that's got to be rough,
Actually,
man.
you can ask Dennis James. He's like, if you ever want to know anything that's going on at a show, don't ask Johnny because you don't know anything. He's just focused on what he has to do. And that's it. I would have people call me and let me know when the meeting, hey, man, get down here. The meeting's about to start. Because I'm focused on what, I'm like, where is it again? Send me the address.
Do you, John, do you miss it at all, or are you content with yeah?
Yeah, of course, man. It was my life forever.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And you know, the travel as much and the compete and the camaraderie with the guys and stuff like that. Also, you know, it was awesome. And we're in all these different countries. You know, you only know each other. You don't know anything else. None of the language, all that stuff. So you get closer with the guys and all that kind of stuff as well. So you miss all that stuff.
What do you miss more, that or powerlifting?
That definitely. Powerlifting is fun. That was more for me. That was my ego stroke. Powerlifting, actually. Anytime I wouldn't do well at a bodybuilding show, I would come home, get on the computer, find a powerlifting meet because I just knew in my head nobody would beat me. So I would just sign up. I don't care if it was like a week, 2 days, 3 days after I compete. I would just get on the computer, find the meet, and go into it and win, and then just like, okay, reset.
What was the most you ever deadlifted? Because that was your pull. That was your
832.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah, I actually did 3 weeks before I had got my pro card. I totaled a 2,119 total out of 3 lifts. I weighed a 216 pounds. I did an 814 deadlift.
Holy shit.
Yeah, 771 squat and 501 bench.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like 4% body fat.
And that was raw, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, oh yeah, always raw.
Okay, okay, yeah. All right. So last week, here's a question. No, we bring this up all the time, and I don't get it. Like, you can't go to the Olympia on points anymore. You got to win a show now. But these
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah.
I've been out of the loop a little bit. That's pretty. I think that's awesome because they had that for a while anyway.
Yeah.
Before, and then they implemented the points and stuff like that for the week. You know.
Yeah. And they got rid of the point system because last year it was chaos in Vegas because there was so many competitors. You know, throughout, you know, with physique, classic physique, the girls, and blah blah blah.
Well, John, remember they used to have a top 3 at the smaller pro shows and top 5 at the Arnold or New York Pro?
Yeah, I was going to say my first qualification was at the New York Pro, the Night of Champions, actually. It was still the Night of Champions. I got 5th, and I had qualified for the Olympia, you know?
So, look, and that, with that argument, you know, I get that, because anybody could be off one day. But it gets the guys competing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you don't make the top 3, you know, you're in the next one. Then you're in the next one. You know, like you're fighting for that spot to qualify.
And you didn't have as many classes back then either.
Well,
right. And you know, Jason, where it was like it was mostly a 2-man show, the Olympia, you know, and they advertised it like that the whole way through.
Right.
We would bust our butt all year long, you know, at trying to qualify, going to all these shows. And they would just sit back and advertise for these guys going to the Olympia, and you're just busting your butt. You know what I mean? Doing what you need to do. You know, paying your dues, and you know, it's still you get no love. You know that if you get qualified, you'll get your name called when you first come out for the press conference.
It's funny hearing that. It's funny hearing that because you always think you're the only one. You know what I mean? Like you always think, dude, they didn't fucking put me on the poster. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. When there's a whole list of guys, and we're all thinking the same shit.
Yep.
All of us are thinking the same shit.
I've been there 14 times.
Holy shit!
You know what I mean? Yeah. I was more comfortable with the Olympia than any other show because it was the same setup, the same routine. You know, so I was the Olympia was like less of a nervous, you know, my nerves going off than any other show like the Toronto Pro or Montreal. I'm like super nervous with that. The Olympia is like, okay, you know, here we go again.
What was your best placing at the Olympia?
8th.
That's pretty damn good. But what we were saying was that so now there's no point system. You got to win a show to qualify, and I think because there's so many classes now that I think it was like 3 days, so it was insane. But nobody's competing. I mean, in that last in the Orlando Pro, nobody had Phil picked. Everybody was talking about Hassan. And Hassan and Phil were you just look at the lineup and you go, well, that's your 1 and 2. Nobody else is. Everybody else, I had no idea who they were. Right. No clue.
And the show before then, what was it? The
Toronto.
Show before Toronto was
same thing. It was Ian. It was Ian and Hassan.
More or less the same thing.
And I don't understand why these guys aren't competing, because that look, if you think that you're going to qualify a month out before the Olympia, and then all these big names are jumping in, right? Like if you're going to do Texas or Tampa or I know you're not going to, because everything else is going to be in Europe. Like this weekend is the big man pro, the Portugal Pro.
Right.
Dude, how many people you know on that?
Yeah.
2 people. I think I don't even really know them that well.
Yeah. Actually, I did not send you the list, but let's see. First of all, the first name that out of nowhere that blows me away is Lionel Becky. I don't even think he's going to show up. Yeah, what? Exactly. Yeah. That's the first.
No way. Are you kidding me?
I swear to God. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't show up.
You're making shit up now.
No, I swear. That's the first name. So then I know who Roman Fritz is, only because he's on, like I said, he got a lot of notoriety and popularity because he's been on Fuad's channel. But when he just tried doing, what was the show that we talked about, Jay? Not Toronto. Not Toronto. It was the one before that.
Europe,
No. It was in Europe.
The
one with that Russian guy, Krizo one.
Yeah.
And I forget the name. I forgot the show.
Spain.
Yes. Yeah. And he came in 5th. And when you see him on stage, when you look at him on Instagram, he looks amazing. Well, everybody looks amazing on Instagram. Then when you see him on stage, you see the size disparity between him and a guy like Krizo and a guy. There was Andrea Presti and Krizo that were 1 and 2, and Fritz was in 5th, and you could see the size disparity, right? So it's Fritz, Peter Clancier, who for some reason, I don't know why, maybe you guys could actually help me out. He doesn't come across good on stage. He's a monster of a man, but when he's on stage, for some reason, when he's compared to the other guys, he I don't know what it is about him, because when I was looking at him, he doesn't look like he has any weak points, but he just doesn't compare well to the rest of the bodybuilders.
Christian?
No, Clancier. Peter Clancier.
Oh, Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll look him up. I got it. But the other, I don't know who.
I just want to see your search engine.
All right. Oh yeah, no, I actually deleted it. I made sure to. I did. I made sure to delete it. All right. See?
Oh, yeah, there it is.
No, there's no.
You took out all the bad ones.
Yeah, I did. I deleted them. Yeah.
It's fine.
All right. Peter. Let's see. Here he is. Right. So, this guy, right? And for some reason, I don't know why, he doesn't do well. I mean, he'll break the top 5, but he's breaking the top 5 in these shows that don't have, maybe they have 1 or 2 quality guys.
Yeah, he looks guys in it.
He looks quality, right? When you look him in that shot, you're like, whoa, that's Mr. Olympia, right? But then when he's on stage,
Johnny, I think his legs are shallow.
For sure. I mean,
the difference is they look okay there.
If you look at that very first shot while he's really not in shape,
right.
Tan that one right there. Yeah. I mean, it jumps out right away, the discrepancy from the top and bottom. So then you go from there and you think, as he get in shape, that discrepancy is going to become more and more.
Right. When he diets down, his legs like look like they hold a little bit of size there, dude, but they don't. Because when he diets down, anything from the front, yeah.
Let me see. Here you go.
Yeah, that's just.
Yeah, you're right. It's his legs.
Yeah, really high. His waist is really long.
Yeah, he has a long torso.
Really long torso.
Yeah, you're right. He's got that high lats.
Weird flow. A little bit of a weird flow, you know.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
When you see him next to somebody with that quality,
yeah,
you could tell by himself, dude. He doesn't look bad there. That's not
right.
Yeah. Well, he looked like Dennis Wolf, that long torso and high lats.
But not big.
Yeah, but Dennis was wider and had fantastic legs.
Eventually, but he wasn't in the beginning, you know.
And, okay.
Yeah, because in 2000, I won the 2006 Montreal Pro. Dennis was in it, and I think he got 5th in that one. So, and he was kind of shallow, like this guy is here.
Right. Yeah.
You know, in the beginning, even though they were hyping him up, you know what I mean, the big bad wolf, but he wasn't the big bad wolf yet. It took him a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so the only other 2 guys I know are Andrea Presti, who's a good bodybuilder, took 2nd in Spain to Crizzo, and the other guy is one of my favorites, and I truly think this guy is going to be a superstar. I might be wrong. Is Vlad the Impaler? I can't pronounce his last name, but this guy is and he's only 26. I mean,
bring him up.
Yeah, I'm going to bring him up right now. He's only 26 years old. And this guy is just...
It's amazing how many new people there is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this guy is just... I think he's going to take the show because he won a show last year. He was in the Olympia, but he didn't break the top 10, you know? And it was... this is him guest posing. This was, what was this, a couple of weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Something like that. Mm-hmm. You know, let me see if I get a better shot, something from last year. So something from. See if I get something.
He's a new pro.
Yeah, he's only
new.
Yeah, he's 26. Last year was his first year as a pro. He was 25. I might be wrong, but I know he was 25. And I think he's Russian or Ukrainian or one of those fucking Eastern European countries. But this guy is just a monster, and he comes in peeled. And he's got this Mack truck density, you know. So I'm picking him to win. I think it's going to be between him and Presti again, you know, like Andrea Presti. But this guy is he's got to come over to.
I mean, that's impressive. Yeah, to see him there.
Yeah,
and I think I've seen some posts where he was working out and stuff like that, and it's like, who's this guy?
Right. Yeah. These guys are coming out of the woodwork, right? You know. But and Andrea Presti, he's a good bodybuilder. I think his legs are a little. Let me see. Damn it! I would love to get this guy on and get my cousin to translate. You know, this was at the Spain Pro. That was it. That's the only. You know, let me see if I got a better shot of him. That's only a picture. All right, let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, this was him and Crizzo, right? He came in 2nd.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. I've seen a couple.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought he was his physique. I think he looks good, but it's a little weird.
He's square looking.
Yeah, his triceps are lagging a little bit. You know, obviously, Crizzo, you could tell, has a better what are these? The lower back is much better than his. You can see he's kind of
a better flow. It's just physique wise, a better flow. He's kind of put together, you know. So that's just, you know, some body part, like not uneven body parts,
right?
You know, even I mean, it looks good, but it's not flowing. So it's just the fact that, you know, you want everything to flow into the other. And you know, like his lats are shallow, his chest is shallow,
his triceps
weird. Yeah, definitely triceps.
Even his legs are a little bit. Even his legs are a little shallow, you know. Like, say you could, you know, when he doesn't have a great sweep like Crizzo has.
Yep, not totally filled out. And he could be eating up a little bit. Maybe they're worried more about his conditioning, you know, than being big. And maybe is the fact of eating up a little bit so he'd fill out more, you know, so his body have a better flow.
Right.
His legs are real shallow from the side. He has no hamstring.
Yeah, it's just so I think it's going to be those two again. I think Vlad is going to take it because I don't even know. I mean, we could look up the other guys that I don't even know. We could look them up. You know, there might be somebody that comes out of the woodwork, but who the hell knows? Yeah, here we go. So this guy's going to be
going on. I mean, we knew who was pretty much the whole lineup. You know, you can look at and know who was who.
Right. Yeah, this guy did the Brazil, Arnold Brazil earlier in the year, and I think he took third. Yeah, he took third. But again, that was
again, scroll down a little bit, John.
Okay. What shot?
Yeah, like his leg again, like legs, like
yeah.
Well,
seems like these guys are staying home on leg day.
Yeah.
And
it's
a lot
unbelievable.
of these guys are maxing out their bodies before, you know, they become pros. Right. So before they get on the pro stage, their bodies are totally maxed out and they can't improve from there.
Right.
You know? And if they do, it's very little and not enough to, you know, match up to, you know, the hype or what you expect.
I just want to know why a bodybuilder who is in like Andrew Jack could have won any one of these shows. I know Carlos was sick, but Carlos could have beat anybody in any one of these shows. Carlos Thomas Jr. Who else isn't registered? I mean, isn't who is the Dominican guy from Jersey?
I
forgot his name.
I just did an appearance with him.
The hell was his name? I forgot his name. He had a good placing last year at the Arnold, but then he blew it in the finals. Right. What's his name? I can't believe it.
He just got sick this year, right? He bowed out of a show earlier this year.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What the hell is his name?
His body wasn't responding or something like that. And I can't think of his name right now.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. If anybody knows, just leave it in the comment section. I can't remember his name.
John not De La Rosa.
Well, he's another guy because he's another. No, it's not De La Rosa, but De La Rosa is actually looking good. He's trying to make a comeback, right?
Oh, really? Haven't heard that name in forever.
Yeah, and he's actually he's trying. Yeah, he's putting it together. Like I follow him on Instagram. He's starting to really put it together again. You know, I don't know why this guy isn't jumping in any shows. You know,
how old is John now?
I don't know. He's got to be in his late 30s at least at this point.
He's close to 40.
Yeah, he's got to be.
I haven't seen him in a while. That's weird to hear.
Yeah, because I know he had a few. I know he had some trouble with marriage a few years back. That fucked him up. But then he moved to left New York and he moved to Florida, and then did he have I think he had some kind of injury, right? And then it took him a little bit back, but then he came back. Yeah, this was the year that really messed him up. When he did the New York Pro and he was going through a divorce. It was really terrible.
Yeah.
But he's looking good and he's trying to compete again. So it's like, all right, well, I mean,
not 212 in the open.
No, open. No, John is he's got too much muscle. He's a short guy, but
right. I know.
But even him,
because it's been a while, so you don't know how much he's maintained over that time.
Yeah, absolutely. So. But what's it, Rodriguez? That's his name. That's his last name, right?
Right. You're right. Yep. If I hear it, I know it.
Justin Rodriguez. That's it. Yeah. So he's another guy that for some reason, he got sick, you said?
He had something going on.
Yeah, whatever. I can't find him. No big deal. Maybe that's why. Maybe he doesn't have it's IG. I don't know. But anyway, all these guys, Kuklo, they just
some of they want everybody to or want to maintain, the attention and the following in bodybuilding, which is lacking right now. And I think that's the problem. None of these guys competing. You see a lot of Instagram posts with them driving cars and, this, that, and the other, and posing or whatever like that. But you got to be a part of the grind. You got to get into these shows. You want people to start going to shows. You need some of the top guys or all the guys to start competing in them.
Absolutely. Even that new guy, Beef Stew, he did 2 shows. He came in second at the New York Pro and third at the show after that. But even him at one of these, like at Orlando or whatever, I mean, he really would have had a good shot of winning if he would have stayed on schedule. And
I think it may be the byproduct of not, upping the prize money. I mean, the prize money's been the same forever.
Yeah.
And that's like, barely covering what you need for prep to get ready for a show. You're barely winning some of it back. So I think it may be the byproduct of them not, enhancing the prize money.
Yeah, Vancouver's coming up too, and I haven't heard of any names doing it.
Yeah, Vancouver. But John, did we ever do it for the prize money?
It's a different world, though.
I get it, but that's why I think I agree with you. Like, I think these guys don't want to compete.
Yeah,
but just
they need more of a. We didn't need that incentive.
Yeah, just the athlete in you and the competitor in you, right? That's missing. That's what's missing. That's missing.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's the idea that they make a lot of money through social media. Like the big names can make a lot of money through social media.
Exactly. So why get on stage and kill myself for 12
so you would
when
think,
I can
right?
do these posts, and sell, underwear or whatever.
Yeah, right.
So you would think with that rationale, like we did it in hopes, hey, if I place well, you get seen, you might be able to sign a deal with somebody, you get a contract, you get more guest posings.
Yeah.
You think it expands your market, and with that rationale, these guys do not look to compete to help expand their market. They look for more social media to expand their market.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and then again, we didn't have that social media platform. Had the only platform we had was the competing platform to get in the magazines and stuff like this,
Right.
To enhance our personal platform. But these guys can use Instagram, to easily, flourish.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you're right. And then it makes, if they don't, you're 100% right about the because then it's like, why should I bust my ass to make 10 grand? And then after taxes, I'm taking home half of that. Right. Yeah. And then,
but I don't think they realize though, if you do a show and place well, your social media is going to grow 3 times as fast as it is just hashtagging or doing whatever the fuck they're doing to grow their social media.
Also, like you said, guest appearances. I tried to have at least 2 to 3 guest appearances, a month. That was an extra 10,000, 15 grand a month in just appearances. Yeah, and so I don't understand that. You don't get those appearances unless you're performing.
Good. Yeah.
Making the promoters like, I want this guy at my show to guest pose, or I want to show this guy off, or whatever. And
but this guy puts on a good routine. He'll sell tickets. You put him in my event.
You want to know? I'll just say it. I honestly think, and this is really only, Canada, the United States, really, that I'm talking about, maybe the UK. Speaking of the UK, that's nice. Hollingshead isn't doing the Olympia yet. He didn't win anything yet. So anyway, I think it's just the millennial Gen Z generation that just doesn't have the same drive as the Gen X boomer generation. I mean, let's call it a circle, really. You know,
I mean, look at the expos. Look at the Arnold and the Olympia expos. It's all YouTubers now.
Yeah, which drives me nuts.
Yeah,
you know,
it's that angle. The bodybuilders also is like, if this guy can sit home and do this crap on YouTube and make millions of dollars, just accumulating followers, I can too. The same thing. Why should I, diet, get on stage?
Before we transition into the YouTube guys, because I wanted to talk about what's his name, Joe Linder, the guy that just recently passed. Before we get into that, the one guy that I really wanted to take a look at, I don't know if you saw what this guy looks like, but Justin Shear, is that his name? Shear or Shire?
I was talking about him earlier.
Yo, this guy, look at this from the back. I mean, that is impressive. And this is his pro debut coming up. I think he's doing the Chicago Pro, right? Wow.
So look, again, he looks great there from the front. His thighs look a little shallow again.
Let's see.
But dude, I see a tremendous. See there?
Yeah. But he has a lot of potential, though. I mean, he does. I mean, from the back, that is impressive.
Sweeps, good bellies.
I mean, from this back pose right here. And this is exactly what a lot of guys are missing.
I was just going to say that, dude. He has all the stuff that everybody else is missing when it comes to a complete back.
Right. Yeah. And
still a little still to get be wider.
Right. Right.
Not,
but you could improve that.
Impressive, but the size is not so much.
Yeah. You could improve that. It's when you have high lat insertions that make it difficult. You can't really improve that part. The only thing is coming drier, but you can get, bigger and wider. And so, well, John, you got a back like a fucking billboard. But this guy, I think, is going to be another good pro, coming up. But he's another guy that could have.
And it's the hold off to see, because like I said, most of these guys have maxed out their bodies by the time they turn pro. You know what I mean? They got one or two shows or their debuts, like, wow, but they're not quite there. But it's still like, wow. And then the second, third show, you get used to what they look like and they kind of fade out.
Yeah.
You know,
you gotta,
so
you're 100% right.
The wow factor coming in right now, but can he maintain it afterwards, or has he already maxed out his body to where, the second or third appearance is going to be like, he's going to blend in.
Yeah, no, I agree. You got to see how these guys do on stage, and if they have the heart, and if they, and you're right. He's not. I think he's 30. I want to say he's in his early 30s. So it's quite possible he has. But then again, being in your early 30s today, I mean, these guys are still competing, and into their.
No, he's still young. He could
into their into their early 40s.
Kind of last year with the guy is incredible and he looks incredible. Of course, I'm talking about Andrew Jack. Just incredible body and all that stuff. But the total letdown of his appearances, it was like at the Texas Pro, it was like he was at 80%, George telling me, backstage and stuff like that, 70, 80%. And then he goes over to Europe and I mean, it was the same pretty much, maybe 2 or 3% better than what it was in Texas, Yeah. And then again, he wasn't 100%, but then down the road come, the Olympia was like, oh, what's going on?
Happened? Yeah.
It's the same physique, the same thing. So it was kind of like these guys, they have that potential and they have that good look, but they don't put the work in to complete it.
And I have to agree with you on Andrew Jack, because he's such a huge person. He's got to fill out that frame. And I've seen, when you look at his off-season pictures, it doesn't look like
Samson do that.
Right, exactly. Perfect example. Samson
exactly. Do that-ish.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like thinking this guy's got to go work with Milos or something, because,
like a Cedric or a Tony Freeman.
He more look like a model, a big model instead of a blown out bodybuilder who's getting ready to win the Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, no, what Arns was saying, the off-season pictures look similar to the off-season pictures last year. It doesn't look like he put another 10, 20 pounds of muscle on.
Right.
You know,
That's what I'm saying.
And when he diets down,
model, like he's modeling with for his nutrition companies or whoever, and staying, you know, lean and looking, but it's not helping. You know what I mean? His road to the Olympia, because everybody can see it. Who knows? No, that's not going to transfer into, unless you're Kevin Levrone. Unless you turn into Kevin Levrone and able to like blow up in 6 weeks.
The most gifted bodybuilder that ever lived, that ever walked the planet. Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Man.
It stinks, because when you see a guy that has so much potential and you go, and you like Samson was so fulfilling, because when you saw him, you're like, this guy could be really good. And he did it.
Exploded. Yes.
Yeah. And when you see other guys like that, where you're like, this guy could really be good if he just really put the pedal to the metal, and you go, all right, and you're waiting. There's a lot of bodybuilders that Lionel Becky is a great example. Lionel Becky is a great example.
Yeah.
That guy, you saw him, 10 years ago, and you go, this guy puts it together. He could be Mr. Olympia. And then it's just a complete letdown. Yeah. Total letdown. But anyway. So what's it? His name was Joe Linda, right? The guy who passed away at 30.
Joe Aesthetic, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very sad. Nobody wants to see anybody pass away. But, here's the thing with me. Maybe it's because I'm Gen X and I just don't understand the social media thing. He had 8 million followers on Instagram. And I don't want to talk ill about the dead. And believe me, I don't want to see anybody die, especially at that age. I mean, that's way too young to be dead, But the most he ever did was an NPC physique show. I don't understand the massive following for him. I'm trying to figure out why he had such a tremendous following. Because I mean, I know he was able to do that thing with his chest and blah, 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 blah. And he was able to flex his chest and whatnot. But honestly, like, if you go into Signature Fitness or, or whatever, another one, there's plenty of guys that look like him. There's plenty of NPC physique guys. I want to know, I would love to figure out, what was it about him that made him blow up on social media without really accomplishing anything? And again, I'm not trying to shit on the guy. I know it's new and it's might be too soon. And like I said, 30 is way too young. 50 is too young. I mean, that's a tragedy. I can only imagine. And I think the story goes, I think his girlfriend actually was the one that was sleeping next to him, and he was complaining about neck pain, and then he died basically in her arms. I mean, that is tragic, right? But if you take the emotion out of it, I was trying to figure out how this guy had such a huge following. What was it about him that was special? Because if you go back, he didn't have this like tremendous personality. It wasn't like he didn't.
So I think I have an answer.
Go ahead.
Before, and again, dude, it's like prehistoric. Like the dinosaur days. Before there was social media. Johnny, you remember when Muscle and Fitness magazine came out, and it first started circulating, getting big, and it would have on the front cover 1 million subscribers, or then it would grow to 5 million subscribers, 10 million subscribers. That's how many people bought that magazine worldwide, right?
Right.
So it narrows the audience for people that really care about bodybuilders or bodybuilding, or a smaller demographic. So we're always trying to equate what these YouTubers, how they're getting these followings. And the reality is there's more people that they like that than they care who a Mr. Olympia is.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why for years we used to hear about, it doesn't matter if you put a Mr. Olympia in an ad, or Mr. Olympia competitor in an ad, because the kids don't know who that is. People that buy whatever the fuck you're selling, whatever it is you're selling, the masses shop at Walmart. Yeah. The masses shop at GNC and Costco, and they're not in the same stores that we go to.
But look at years ago. Also, he didn't have 8 million followers, but Rich Piana
I was exactly.
Yeah, he didn't accomplish anything. I worked with a guy in Mutant, and it's just like, oh my God, really? But
yeah, I couldn't figure that out either.
It's the niche.
It's the niche.
You know, is the problem that the bodybuilders now have. There's no personalities beyond I train. This is what I eat. I live bodybuilding. You know, whatever products and stuff like that. There's no
good point
personality. There's nothing about them that mainstream or somebody watching him can connect to, except he's huge or he's big. I want to go see the freak or whatever like that. But there's no real life, like reality shows are like it. You know, it's exploded and it continues today. Reality TV, you know, and it's huge because people can relate to what's going on one way or the other.
Yeah.
And maybe those guys, that's what these guys did, is somehow become relatable enough to where people are like, I want to know, you know, he's actually showing how he ticks. So I want to know more, you know, where everybody else is covered up and just show the bodybuilding side or the training side or my perfect side, never anything else outside of that.
So YouTube, if you're a YouTuber, you could convey a personality, and I could understand people following a YouTuber. Obviously, it's something I'm trying to do, right? But Instagram, it's basically, you know, likes and clicks, and you know, he's a guy that was in great shape. He was German. I think he spoke English, you know, but it wasn't great, but he did speak English. And I would, you know, there's plenty of other physique guys that have had Instagram. I was just, what, you know, it just blows me away that honestly, I honestly think that it's just the new generation. And this guy, you know, once you're able to build traction on social media like Instagram or TikTok or whatever the case may be, and then the young kids go, oh, you know, Joe Linder, and you know, so on and so forth, and that all the young kids from across the world are the ones that, oh, I follow Joe Linder, so on and so forth. And they jump on that. They jump on that train.
There's a lot of guys kind of look like him that you can go to the gym, look like him.
Yeah.
But at mainstream, not really. And so this guy had a personality. You know, he's doing all this crazy shit, and you know, people are relating to it more, to him more than the guy who's just walking in the gym and working out.
Yeah,
you know, he's doing a little bit more. He's going over the top, showing different aspects of stuff, and you know what I mean. It's just getting people attention more. You know, and then looking like that, ripped and look like that with that big personality, it just drives people to him.
Sells.
What?
It sells.
Oh, I thought you said pause. I was like, what are we pausing for? So, you know what it is? I think we come from the generation of you become famous through accomplishing something. And the millennial Gen Z generation is you become famous to be famous. Right? Like I couldn't stand reality shows. Like, you know, the Jersey Shore, because I'm like, these people did nothing. They've done nothing. You know, when we were young, if you were famous because you were an amazing athlete or amazing actor or you know, or whatever the case may be. I mean, you know, like, you know, Michael Jordan was the, you know, most popular guy on the planet because he was the best basketball player on the planet. Mike Tyson, you know, Michael Jackson, Tiger Woods. You go, those were the people that were famous. But now it's not about what you accomplish. And I think it takes away from the kids that don't think they can work hard, because the idea that you're gonna idea that you are gonna be a social media, you know, influencer,
a gamer, you can just play games and become a millionaire.
But I mean, the thing is, the thing is, I think the more that society caters to those Instagrammers, I think the young generation thinks that they could do it. And though that is 1% of the 1%, just because it's in your face all the time on Instagram, right? It gives you this delusion that it's very possible. But the truth of the matter is, it's really not. And if I've spoken to kids in the gym that that have the camera and they're sitting there, and I'm like, and I would, I go to the gym a lot of times right after work. So it's right after 3:30, 4 o'clock. And that's when the high school kids get let out.
Yep.
And a lot of times I'm becoming the fucking old OG in the gym, and I might like help them. And they got their friend videoing them and they don't even know what they're doing. And I go, you probably get a better workout if you didn't worry about Instagram. And I can't tell you how many times the guy's like, oh, I'm trying to build my following and be a social media influencer. And I'm like, dude, how old are you? 18. I'm like, 8 years ago, you were 10. What are you influencing? You're not influencing anybody. You don't know shit.
Exactly.
You don't know anything.
Nothing.
And I'm like, you're better off concentrating on getting a skill so that you can make a living.
Learn a trade.
Yeah, exactly. Forget it. I can't tell you how many.
You remember that?
Yeah. I can't tell you. I can't tell you how many times I've told kids in the gym about Union County Votech right in New Jersey, which was the apprenticeship program I went to be an electrician. And I can't tell you how I can't tell you how many kids don't even realize how much money prevailing wages for an electrician, plumber, HVAC, heavy crane operator. Those guys make a lot of money and they have no fucking clue. No, I'm going to be a social media influencer. No, you're not. Yep. You're not.
Period.
You're not. Yeah. It's just fucking blow. And that's probably, a little bit of lack of parenting too, because, it's, a
lack of parenting. Yeah. I always say like at a certain like 85 and then again in mid 90s, there was a big baby boom where there were more 16, 15, 16, even 14-year-olds were having babies. Now those babies are grown-ups and having babies.
Right.
No discipline, no education, barely, no home training.
No father in the house.
No, grandparents raising them, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that blows me away, the grandparents, because they're not going to have the same incentive being a 30-year-old parent as a 65-year-old grandparent. It's like, just give the kid ice cream and leave me alone, right? It's just not
playing his iPad.
Yeah, it's just not going to be. It's not going to be the same.
The difference is the guys that want to be the influencers. Working for that is easy. They can fuck off at the gym or fuck off in their room or in their closet or wherever they're fucking off. And it's not real work, Learning a trade.
Do some research. We do some research by watching other YouTube stuff.
It's fun, right? It looks like fun. But to learn a trade or go to school or train for something or to work for something, that requires real work and discipline. And that is what people are turned off from.
Yeah.
They think it's easy. They want the easy way. And, that's the problem is 10 years from now, when all this shit catches up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have more people.
I think it's already 10 years from now. I think it's catching up now.
Well, wait another 5 or 10.
Because the truth of the matter is, there are a lot of positions in manual labor that pay good, and they can't find people to do those positions because these kids aren't educated about these trades. And
nobody's thinking about the next generation of AI units that's going to come in and then take over all the jobs that you're talking about. And then people are going to be like, what's going on? We don't have any jobs. All these machines are taking over. Computers are taking over.
And the scary part is the AI, the delivery truckers, Ubers. I mean, that's the scary part, because that's a lot of jobs, a lot. But if any young people are listening, if anybody, young people that are high school, college, whatever, just know that an apprenticeship program for a trade, I'll give you what I know as an electrician. It's a 4-year apprenticeship program. They help you find a job. Okay. After you're done with 4 years of apprenticeship program and you have 4 years of experience in the field, you become a journeyman electrician. And believe me, it's not like school. Okay. I went to the apprenticeship program, and they literally, give you open book tests. or they'll send you home with the tests in the book, and just, you know, it's not like you really have to study hard. They know that you guys aren't the studious type, okay? So they try to help you as much as possible. And it's not nearly as expensive as college. Not even close, right? Not even close. Prevailing wage for an electrician in New York City is $54 an hour. That doesn't include overtime. That doesn't include holidays. That doesn't include your B fund. They literally give you a B fund, which means that they take money out and they put it into this fund just in case you get laid off. Because when you get laid off, then you could claim unemployment, and then you start pulling money out of the B fund. That doesn't include your pension. That doesn't include your 401k. And that also doesn't include your benefits. And I'm talking dental, medical, and optical, all included. And try to find a job that pays you well over $100,000. You know, you're talking probably making $150 with overtime, and all your benefits, and a pension, and a 401k. If you think you're gonna, you know, if you think that's easy to come by, it's not. But if you, and all the trades are, you know, plumbers, HVAC, and you could always open up your own business or do side work. It's so lucrative, and there's a lot of kids that don't do it. My cousin is a heavy crane operator on the docks in New Jersey. He makes, ready for this, $250,000 a year, because he's a heavy crane operator, but he has to climb, like, I don't know how many stories up to get to the crane, right? Because it's got to go from ship to land, right? And then the whole, he's completely in glass, because he has to see every angle. So you really can't be scared of heights. And he said you can't believe how many guys couldn't do the job because they couldn't even climb halfway up, let alone get up there and be up there all day.
Imagine. I couldn't. Yeah, you can forget that.
But it's out there. And instead of thinking that, and believe me, you could do social media and still work, because the hours are 7 to 3. You have plenty of time.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I do. I mean, I do this YouTube at night while I'm working during the day.
Right.
Anyway, and all right, gentlemen, I'm gonna let you guys go. I appreciate Johnnie Jackson always. Oh, I forgot to tell you, John. Well, I started this bodybuilding channel in January, and I did an interview with you on my old channel. So right. I brought all those major stars that I had on you, Branch, Jay Cutler, Linda Murray, so on and so forth. I switched over. I brought those videos over to the new channel, and your interview is my number one looked at a video on here. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 views or something like that. You know, it's and every time I look at it, you're always in, like, if you have a YouTube channel, they give you like the stats, and you're always in the top 3. It's always growing.
Yeah, cool deal.
Yeah,
it's always a fun time. I enjoy.
I appreciate you coming on, and Arns, thank you again. Okay, yeah, I Prevail subs. That's right.
Sure.
You gotta get on your I Prevail subs.
Donnie's been on it for years. He just doesn't tell anybody.
That's right.
He's got to keep that on the down low.
You know it.
Are you promoting anything, John? Are you working on anything?
Well, I'm with Allmax Nutrition. Been with them, the last, several years, and love the products, of course. That's why I'm with them, and I promote them, and, you try to try them to see what I'm talking about. And then also Gas, you see me with my stylish Gas shirt on, so always looking clean and good.
No one wears it better.
Well, listen, of course. You only perform as good as what you look like. You know what I mean? So if you look good, you perform good.
There happens to be this growing bodybuilding YouTube channel without a sponsor, right? The guy he's very handsome and charismatic, and I'm just saying, maybe if Gasp or Allmax would like to sponsor a series of Silly's Bodybuilding, just throwing it out there, just saying, all right, gentlemen, I'm gonna let you guys go. Yeah, maybe I don't know, we'll see when I continue growing. Gentlemen, thank you very much again. All respect and love always, and we will see you soon.
And this got to be popular with John, and John.
There's no question about it. That's right.
Good night, guys.
All right, later, guys.
Have a good night. Thanks, Johnny.
Yep.
Bye.